I stood on the empty shore and stared out at the vast ocean before me. The waves were calm, and the sky was a mass of clear blue, which mirrored the water and looked to almost merge into it on the horizon. Seagulls dived and banked and played above the water. I can imagine that some people find the noise that the seagulls make to be annoying, but I have become used to it. I have stood in this exact spot for many years, but never alone. This is the first time. I looked to my right and stared down at the spot where she once stood beside me. Her footprints are still visible from the last time, just a couple of days ago. Suddenly I'm reminded of our very first visit here. Lost on our way to her mother's new home, we began to argue about whose fault it was. It was nobody's fault, really, but tensions were high and tempers were short. I was driving. Through a gap in the trees, I saw the sun glistening onto the sandy shore, and I stopped. I didn't realize that we were so close to the ocean. She was now perfectly silent, no doubt wondering what the hell was wrong with me. I'd not said a word for near on a minute now, and had therefore conceded defeat in the argument. This confused her. A car horn sounded from behind us, and I pulled over to the side of the road. "Follow me," I said. She didn't ask why, or question where we were going. She just followed. As we emerged from the woods, there it was, the ocean. The sea breeze was strong, and the sand was clean and white, and we just stood there, looking out at the horizon and not saying a word. Eventually, I told her that I loved her. It was the first time I'd told her since we'd begun dating. She replied that she loved me as well. We both apologized for our earlier argument. Then we kissed, while the warm evening sun spilled its light onto our skin. We never did visit her mother that day, just stood in that spot. The perfect day. Today was very different. It was morning, not evening, and the sun was therefore much hotter. The sea breeze wasn't as strong either, though perhaps that is because I'm used to it now. The smell has never matched that day. the seagulls play and dance and fight in the sky above me, which has now become host to a couple of lost clouds, but which is still mostly clear and blue. How I'd love to be able to fly just for an hour or two. I think to myself, to play with them for a moment and forget about everything. But I would have to be a seagull myself. Otherwise, they would fly away from me. Yes, I'd have to be a seagull. I nod briefly, then let out a short sigh. I look around and my focus is taken by the bright, hot sun, which is now way up at the top of the sky. It reminds me of her eyes, always has done. She used to say that it was stupid, and maybe she was right. Perhaps it's just my hopeless poetic mind, but looking into her eyes always reminded me of looking up at the sun. Different in colour, of course, her eyes being green, but bright like the sun, and always vibrant and warm. I used to like the way she blinked when her eyelashes touched briefly and her eyes were hidden for a moment, so that when she opened them, I was again embraced by her eyes. I once made a remark that the process of her blinking almost seemed to last an entire day. Time would seemingly slow down to a crawl when her eyelids began to close. It was like watching the sunset, and when they opened, it was a sunrise, and what seemed like hours had passed. Again, she used to say that that was stupid. She didn't mean anything nasty by it. She just always found my poorly tuned poetic mind to be amusing. She would always say thank you afterwards, for the intention at least. I'm staring out at the horizon now, just watching the calm surface. Suddenly, a stone skims through it, mustering a couple of bounces, before meeting a wave head-on and vanishing from view. I look to my right, and there's a young boy searching through the sand, looking for another flat stone or pebble to throw. It takes him a minute or two, but eventually his persistence is rewarded, and he finds another. This one lasts 3 or 4 bounces, and he celebrates by pumping his fist in the air. He looks like I did when I was that age. After a couple more attempts, none more successful than the last one, he sits down, cross-legged, and looks out at the ocean, playing with the sand in front of him. This time I get a response. Suddenly the boy gets up and brushes himself down.